Think you know everything about the Crane brothers? Buckle up. These 10 weird facts prove there's far more hiding behind their witty charm and sherry glasses than you ever imagined. Fact 1.
By opening that window, you're opening up a window to a long and happy marriage. That's good.
Did you know that Frasier Crane holds one of the longest runs for a single live-action character in American TV?
No, there's a shorter way to say that. Surprise!
Kelsey Grammer first appeared as Frasier on Cheers in 1984 and continued through Frasier until 2004. That's nearly 2 full decades playing the same character, an incredible record in sitcom history. Most actors move on after a few seasons, but Grammer built an empire around this neurotic psychiatrist. The character appeared in Cheers, Wings, Frasier, and even briefly in The Simpsons. The continuity gave audiences a sense of real aging and growth, rare for comedy TV. Frasier evolved from barroom intellectual to high-class snob with deep insecurities. This level of consistency helped viewers form an unusually strong attachment. Behind the scenes, producers said Grammer knew Frasier better than the writers did. The weird thing is how a sitcom role became a full-blown life story. It blurred the line between character and actor. Few sitcoms have ever achieved that kind of realism through time. So every pompous toast or pretentious opera rant you hear from Frasier carries the weight of 20 years of backstory. And that's what makes this record downright weird and brilliant. Fact 2.
Niles, you don't still have the brochures from those rest homes, do you?
Of course I do. Don't forget Maris is 5 years older than I am.
Officially, Niles Crane's IQ is 156, much higher than Frasier's recorded IQ of 129. This little-known fact flips the entire brotherly rivalry upside down. Throughout the series, Frasier acts like the undisputed intellectual, yet Niles quietly surpasses him. The writers confirmed that difference in interviews and production notes. It was a subtle joke. Frasier might talk more, but Niles thinks deeper. The number 156 places Niles among the top 0.1% of intelligence scores worldwide. That explains his perfect memory, linguistic precision, and obsession with perfection. It also explains his many phobias. Sometimes brilliance and neurosis walk hand in hand. Frasier's smaller IQ made him slightly more social, which kept their banter balanced. This dynamic is a hidden formula that powered much of the show's comedy. Viewers subconsciously picked up on their mental duel. And because of that, every petty argument about wine or literature feels like a psychological chess match. Weirdly, the writers turned IQ into punchline material, and it worked for 11 seasons. Next time you hear Niles correct his brother, just remember, he's scientifically smarter. Fact 3.
You know, I know the dads wanted to have you for a long time.
Although Frasier is set in Seattle, almost the entire show was filmed in Los Angeles. Only one episode, the season 5 premiere, the 5,000th show, was shot on location in Seattle. That episode featured real fans cheering for Frasier's fictional radio milestone. Everything else, the skyline, the condo, Cafe Nervosa, existed on Hollywood soundstages. Even the famous skyline view from Frasier's apartment was a photographic backdrop. The show's Seattle feel was created with rain sound effects, coffee props, and lighting tricks. That illusion convinced millions they were seeing the real Pacific Northwest. It's weird to think that such a defining location was basically a stage trick. The producers said filming in Seattle would have cost triple the budget. Still, the fake Seattle vibe became part of the show's charm. When you hear Frasier complain about the weather, remember? He's in sunny Los Angeles. That ironic contrast made the world of Frasier even quirkier and more theatrical. It's one of those odd production secrets fans rarely notice. Fact 4.
And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged.
Yes, that jazzy theme song was sung by Kelsey Grammer himself. But the weird part is that the songwriter was told not to mention psychiatry, radio, or Seattle. Instead, tossed salads and scrambled eggs are metaphors for Frasier's confused callers and their messy problems.
No problem at all, let us handle your call. On our show, on our show.
It's an elegant disguise for a song about therapy. The composer, Bruce Miller, wanted something sophisticated yet playful, just like Frasier's personality. Grammer recorded multiple versions before settling on the smooth crooner tone. The lyrics make no literal sense, yet perfectly capture the show's intellectual chaos. When you hear "They're Calling Again," it subtly refers to the patients phoning Frasier's radio show. Over time, that song became an Easter egg for fans who cracked the metaphor. It's weirdly brilliant, a theme tune that hides the show's premise in plain sight. Grammer said he liked it because it felt like Frasier trying to sound casual while overthinking everything. Even the ending, "Good Night, Seattle," was improvised. It's classy nonsense, and that's exactly what makes it unforgettable. Fact 5.
I hate your unicorn collection.
I hate that your closet is bigger than mine.
You're too tall.
You're too short.
Among Niles Crane's many quirks, the strangest might be his psychosomatic nosebleeds when he lies. The writers added it as a running gag to exaggerate his anxiety. It first appears when he tries to hide his feelings for Daphne. The moment his emotions conflict with his honesty, his nose starts bleeding uncontrollably. It's such a bizarre and specific reaction that it became iconic. David Hyde Pierce performed it with perfect deadpan precision. The idea came from psychological research suggesting some people manifest stress physically. For a character obsessed with manners, it's hilariously humiliating. Every drop of blood becomes a sign of emotional chaos. It turned Niles's neuroses into slapstick gold. Fans loved it because it showed vulnerability beneath his sophistication. The weirdness made him human, and that's why the gag endured. It's a perfect example of Frasier's ability to turn anxiety into artful comedy. Fact 6.
Dr. Crane, your glockenspiel has sprung to life.
The show we know almost never happened. The original pitch to NBC wasn't about Frasier Crane at all. Creators David Angel, Peter Casey, and David Lee wanted a brand new sitcom about a paralyzed media mogul starting over in New York. NBC loved Kelsey Grammer, but wanted the Cheers character back. So they rewrote the entire concept in weeks. They moved the story to Seattle to separate it from Cheers' Boston setting. The new setup allowed them to explore family dynamics instead of bar culture. Ironically, the network's interference made the show far better. That twist of fate gave birth to Niles, Martin, and Eddie the dog. Without that corporate push, none of these characters would exist. It's a weird Hollywood accident, and one that turned into TV gold. Sometimes the best ideas start as compromises. Fact 7.
Actually, it's quite personal. You know, Dad, he's so judgmental.
He is, and I've often condemned him for it.
According to the show's lore, their mother, Dr. Hester Crane, named her sons after laboratory rats she used in psychology experiments. It's a darkly comic detail mentioned briefly, but rooted in the writer's twisted sense of humor. Imagine growing up knowing you were named after rodents. It perfectly explains the brothers' lifelong neuroses. Both men were raised in an environment of intellect over emotion. The fact that their mother was a psychiatrist who valued analysis over affection adds to the strangeness. The naming choice symbolizes how detached their upbringing was. It's funny, but also a little unsettling. This detail deepens the psychology behind their quirks. Every pompous conversation suddenly makes more sense. They were literally born into behavioral study. That's the weirdest origin story for sitcom siblings you'll ever hear, Aya. And it's canon. Fact 8.
You've been nominated for a 1994 CB.
I was nominated! I was nominated!
Frasier and Niles didn't just dress well, they dressed with purpose. Costume designer Reggie G. Johnson crafted each outfit to reflect their mental state. Niles' tailored suits showed control. Frasier's slightly looser style showed confidence teetering on chaos. When Niles temporarily rebels with casual wear, it marks moments of crisis. Even the patterns on their ties were chosen to contrast each other. Their clothing became character development without dialogue. Producers said the wardrobe budget rivaled that of a drama series. It's weird to realize that these outfits told stories the scripts didn't. Every stitch reflected ego, insecurity, or emotional change. The show's visual polish made the Crane brothers icons of intellectual vanity, so when you see them debating over wine and Armani, you're actually watching psychology in fabric form. Fact 9.
I know this was a very difficult call for you to make. Goodbye. She wants a divorce.
After his messy divorce from Maris, Niles temporarily lost his fortune. His beloved Mercedes was repossessed, forcing him to drive a tiny Geo Metro. The image of this refined psychiatrist in a budget hatchback is pure comedy gold. The writers used it to puncture his aristocratic ego. For someone who panics over mismatched silverware, a Geo Metro was social death. But that humility made audiences love him even more. It's It's one of those small character moments that reveals depth through embarrassment. In interviews, David Hyde Pierce said he loved the absurdity of the car's size compared to Niles' personality. The Geo became a symbol of his downfall and eventual redemption. It's a weirdly human touch that grounded the highbrow humor. Even geniuses sometimes have to downshift. Fact 10.
Oh, how she loved the game.
No wonder. The king is stationary while the queen has all the power.
In the season 6 episode 3 Valentine's, Niles accidentally sets Frasier's couch on fire while trying to iron his pants. The entire scene unfolds without a single line of dialogue. David Hyde Pierce choreographed every move like a silent film comedy. The flames, the fainting, the panic. It's a masterpiece of physical acting. Here's the weird part. NBC executives almost removed the scene for being too strange and too long. Luckily, the creators fought to keep it in. The episode went on to win Pierce an Emmy Award. That one sequence defined Niles' character more than any line ever could. It's still studied in comedy writing classes today. The weirdness worked, proving that silence can sometimes be the loudest laugh in television.